Bradley, what prompt? It's quite a study from what, in a summary that.
I don't know the precise number off the shores of Southern California, but the total number is important, and that's about 3,000 or more. And it does tie in with what our priorities ought to be in connection with the Outer Continental Shelf drilling. That drilling is proposed because they say we are facing a crisis and that we need the oil in order to be independent. We certainly ought to have these facts, and if they in fact have the capability right now of recovering oil from those sources, then I think that the haste with which the Department of Interior is proposing to proceed with the leasing of these tests in the Outer Continental Shelf would certainly be effective.
Your belief that the oil companies may be withholding the production of oil, especially in the offshore areas, to maximize their profits?
The study performed by Professor Davidson and a team from Rutgers University has identified the difference in the number of oil wells that have been in operation. The number increased from 1,000 to 3,000 in the period of 1971 to 73. These are what are called shut-in wells, where they are known to be producible wells, and yet they've been capped and are not in production now. And the question arises, has that been a deliberate effort to withhold that oil from the market? Is it connected with an effort to wait until the prices increase, or to apply more pressure so that we can get the Outer Continental Shelf leases approved? If that is a fact, then I think it is a matter of concern to all of us in this country, because it ties in with what our priorities ought to be on where and when we should drill for additional oil. And I think that the GAO, the General Accounting Office of the federal government, is an impartial body that has the capability to conduct that kind of study and establish the facts. The truth of the matter will be good for the oil companies as it will be for the general public. And I've asked Senator Tunney to intervene on our behalf to secure the assistance of the GAO.
Now, the capping of these oil wells, have you found that they are shut off because they've reached a certain level, or is this just an indiscriminate stoppage of the operation?
I think this is something that the GAO's office has to establish. The fact of the matter is they've been identified as oil wells which will produce profitable quantities of oil. How much has not been indicated, but I think that it is something that really needs to be established.
How many of these shut-in oil wells are in Southern California? And if an investigation does show that they're quite producible, well, how will this affect the administration's plan to lease new land for offshore drilling? Declines the investigation, the request for an investigation. Will you be taking the request to any state agency?
No, it really ought to be done by the federal government, because they have the capability. I think they would have the prestige, the stature in terms of their credibility to do the job and to establish convincing facts to satisfy all parties.
I'm sure your office in this investigation into the energy problem that we're facing has come into contact with the oil companies, their offices. Have you asked them about this problem of the shut-in oil wells?
No, I have not, and I think that it would be important to understand that their denying this really would not satisfy the question in the minds of many people, and I think that it would be appropriate then that that kind of impartial answer be given by the GAO.
If the GAO's investigation proves that this belief is valid, that there is a producible amount, a profitable amount of oil still left, will you be seeking any action against the oil companies? Is to either begin mandatory pumping of these oil wells, or?
I think at that point the federal government would, as a normal course of events, include those factors in their federal policies with regard to energy. And I just feel confident they would do that without any pressure. If they did not, then of course There'd be another question for the kind of action that we would have to take on a local basis.
Looking at something else now, tonight you're having your celebration on your 500th day. Have these last 500 days been satisfying to you, and what do you look as doing accomplishments in the next 500 days?
Well, they've been very exciting and challenging days for me, but certainly very satisfying. I have enjoyed my work despite the long hours and the many days that I put in. It has been very satisfactory, and I look forward to the next 2.5 years of my term.
Well, within the next 2.5 years, what are you really looking forward to tackling? What problems do you want to tackle?
Well, the problem of transportation, a rapid transit system for this community is still an urgent concern. I'm going to continue to work on that, despite the failure of Proposition A. The people in Los Angeles voted overwhelmingly for it. Many other cities did, but we simply did not get enough votes in some of the outlying communities. The question of crime, juvenile violence, another important issue that we'll be working on. The matter of housing and community development is another major issue that we are already beginning to tackle. The problem of employment. How do we encourage new industry to come in? How do we encourage that which is here to stay and provide additional jobs?
And if this is true, it would lend a lot of credence to that.
Facts that are beyond reproach. See, I'm not...
At a press club, announced that his... Jan Mitagawa? He was talking about Seattle. They've already reached the point where they're actually building the plant.